So before we get into the training, and by the way, I drink Monster, so hope that doesn't bother you guys. I got to stay fueled up. I know it's a bad habit and not looking for a healthy alternative, but I just don't seem to have one at the time. So if you're one of those healthcare companies, Advocare or something, and you got something better than Monster, then please, by all means. But so what I want to talk to you guys is about traffic driving and targeting the right customer. But before I get into some of the tips and tricks and showing you some of the mechanics behind these strategies I'm teaching you here, my lighting's a little bad here, so I apologize for that. Before I get into these strategies and showing you the actual mechanics, I want to talk to you about marketing in general and where most people miss the mark. And if you can understand this concept and this mindset, and you can adapt to it and buy in fully, I promise you every marketing venture that you jump into, whether it be print, whether it be online, email, whether it be radio ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, I promise you, you will be 10 times more effective. Where most small business owners are missing the mark when it comes to marketing, we're going to talk Facebook specific, is really understanding their customer, taking the time to really create that perfect customer. And this is something that we spend a great deal of time on in my mastermind at the Agency Alliance, but it's creating that perfect customer, being able to look at your marketing objectively from your customer's eyes, right? A lot of times, many of you have boosted posts, or you have done mailers, or you've done a print ad, or whatever the case may be, but you've run some sort of marketing campaign and you can't understand why you didn't get results. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to when we talk about social media marketing and how social media plays into their overall marketing strategy. They say, well, I boosted some posts and I got 50 likes, but I didn't get any leads, right? And most of you guys, if you're with captive carriers, you're probably using Hearsay, which is a phenomenal platform, but the content that you're putting out and the days and times in which you're putting it out isn't producing any results for you. So I'm going to help you understand why. And if you can understand this perfect customer creation process, you will be so much more effective with everything that you do, right? So the traditional means of internet lead generation has been keyword targeting, SEO plans, squeeze pages at these big companies like your NetQuotes and Quote Wizards and Select Quotes and all the other lead aggregators out there. The traditional means of generating these leads is targeting the line of insurance, right? Targeting people who are looking for auto insurance, who are looking for home insurance, looking for life insurance, commercial, whatever kind of leads that you're buying, right? And the problem is that by the time somebody gets there, they're just a price-driven consumer. And what we really need, especially those of you with captive companies in a captive situation, what you really need is to create that perfect customer. Each and every one of you has an underwriting department that has a very specific appetite for the type of client they're looking for. And 99% of the time when I get on the phone with you guys, if you're not getting results from your internet leads, it's because you don't have the right customer, right? So you're not able to get competitive because you've got the single car auto, you've got the bad driver, you've got the bad credit, you've got the monoline household where you're not able to get the home. Maybe they're not married, they just don't fit in that wheelhouse. And each of you have your own underwriting wheelhouse that you're looking for. Effective. Now, 5 years ago, internet leads were a great way to go, but we know that these are diminishing with each and every year. And the landscape of how marketing and lead generation has evolved since the advent of social media is drastically different. Customers are much smarter and they're bombarded with ads on a daily basis. So you have to be able to make your ads stand out. And part of that is understanding your customer. You can't be effective and you cannot engage your customers or your prospects effectively with your marketing if you don't understand them at a deeper level. I'm going to show you how some of these tools that Facebook provides us will give us an understanding and a deep insight into what our customer looks like. So our perfect customer is, let's just say 25 to 45, married, homeowner, couple cars, college educated, right? Money in the bank. Maybe they have 401k. I mean, we can outline these demographics, and we know that Facebook has the ability to have us laser target the traffic that we want. So as we create these campaigns, we create these posts that we're going to boost or that we're going to run traffic to, we can be very specific and tell Facebook, I only want these people that fit these criteria to see this post, right? There's another strategy called dark posting where you don't even have to put the post out on your page, and you can create a post back in your Power Editor, and that post will only be seen by the people that you outline and that you tell Facebook, if they meet these requirements, then I want them to see the post, right? And that's great because now we know that the traffic that sees our ad, that sees our post, that sees our website that we're driving into, whatever, sees our video, whatever campaign you're running, we know that it's the right traffic. So we can automatically eliminate people that we know won't fit, like the college graduate that has a renter's policy and a car with liability only, right? That's not who we're looking for in most cases. And if you are, then fantastic. You can tell Facebook that's who you're looking for. So once we create this perfect customer, this is where most people stop, right? It's not any secret that you guys know how to target. You know how to put age demographics. You know how to put geography. We know how to put college educated. And we know how to put that they're a homeowner, so on and so forth. Some of you may not even know that, but those are very basics when it comes to targeting. What you need to think about is, okay, why? Answer why. Why does the customer need what you have? What is their problem? Right? Because people don't just wake up one day and decide, hey, it's nice, I'm college educated, own a home, have a couple cars, got money in the bank, I'm gonna go shop for insurance, that'll be fun today. Right? That doesn't happen. There's some sort of life event, there's some sort of trigger that's going on in my life. I have some sort of problem that causes me to need or want insurance. Maybe that problem is that I'm buying a house and I need to insure it in order to complete the transaction. Maybe the problem is that I'm getting married and I need to merge two households into one. Maybe the problem is that I just got laid off and I need to roll my 401k somewhere, or I need to pick up some health benefits. Maybe I'm I've got kids going to college. There's a number, maybe I'm buying a car. There's a number of different reasons why people may need or want insurance. So once we create that perfect customer and we say, Facebook, this is who I'm looking for, this is what my customer looks like from a demographic standpoint, now I also want them to have these things going on in their life. I need them to have this problem. So if I can be very specific in terms of who I want and then the problem that they have, now as a marketer, I can say, okay, let's come to this customer with a solution to the problem, right? If we can then provide solutions rather than price cuts, we have value-driven customers. And see, most of us don't think this deep when it comes to our advertising campaigns, especially when we're putting posts on Facebook or running a boost post campaign or something like that. So we put out these very broad stroked of, save 15% in 15 minutes or less, or average savings of $387 or more, right? These types of campaigns, customers are accustomed to seeing. They're numb to them. You're not going to get a reaction, and they're not solving any specific problem. Furthermore, the ads that those do work on, those customers are too far into the buying funnel for you to really present any value, because what they want is an immediate fix and they want to save money right now today. That's it, right? So if you can then say, here's what the customer looks like, here's their problem, now we can creatively engage that person with a solution to their problem. And what happens is that person goes on about their daily life just as they would. And what happens in their newsfeed is, bam, we pop up with an ad which they see as a solution to their problem that they can easily identify with. I could say, hey, yeah, I just got married and I do need to combine my households. This looks like something I need to check into. Or if we have an affinity, if you're with farmers, oh yes, I am a nurse and I didn't know that I had discounts with these particular programs with these carriers or whatnot. Right, so I can quickly identify, build that affinity, and that's why affinity marketing is so popular in the insurance industry, and we're seeing more and more companies develop affinity programs with certain industries, with certain alumni and certain employer groups, so on and so forth. Is because when people have an affinity to something, they're much more likely to engage and give it a shot. The barrier is broken, and they now have that trust, that initial trust factor because of the affinity that we've created. So when we create our campaigns, we can quickly identify with them and offer a value-added solution. And now we've got somebody who wasn't shopping for insurance initially, and that's what we ultimately want. We don't want shoppers, because the same way people came into your book of business is going to be the same way that they go out of your book. So if they were online looking for cheap insurance, you can bet in 6 to 12 months they're going to be online again looking for cheap insurance. If that company doesn't outright just send them an email and say, hey, it's time to shop a new rates, it's time for renewal. Do you want to have us get some quotes done for you? Which a lot of companies are doing that now, which is another reason why we see such low closing rate with these. Right, so that's really the first part, understanding that, and think critically before you put any campaign out, is saying, okay, who am I talking to? What is their problem, and does this ad serve as any solution to that problem? The next thing you can think about before you put a piece of advertising out, or before you run a campaign or create a funnel on social media, is, would you respond to it? Would you respond to that bulk mailer that you're sending out? Would you respond to the cold caller that you have on the phones calling and setting appointments for you, trying to get quotes? Would you respond to the mass email that you're sending out? And if you wouldn't, then how on earth could you expect your customer base to? Because most of you probably want to do business with people who are like you. So don't expect savvy consumers that are risk adverse, that have assets, money in the bank worth protecting, they have good driving records, to respond in a manner any different than you would respond to marketing. So think a little bit more critically about your marketing and about your efforts and about what you're putting out on social media. And before you boost a post, try to understand a little bit deeper from your customer's perspective, and then engage that customer. Right, so I want to show you really quick, I'm going to switch gears here and do a screen share and show you some of the tools that we have available. I'm going to give this a second to load for you guys. And I'm going to jump into my Ads Manager screen. And so what I'm doing here is I'm logging into my Ads Manager, and this is where you're going to manage all of the campaigns that you run. All right, so there's a little option here that says Tools. And you click Tools, you've got these different options here. Audience Insights is the one that we're most interested in. And this is what's going to help you understand more about your customer. Maybe you don't know that much about your perfect customer, right? Maybe you serve a large area. Maybe you serve multiple states. Maybe you serve multiple carriers. But in order to understand your customer, you're going to have to dig into these tools. And I suggest that before you create any sort of campaign, as a novice marketer, as a novice internet marketer, especially on social media, when you have these tools available to you, use it as a cross-reference before you go and create a campaign. Before you go and target luxury homes, say, for insurance, writing policies for luxury homes, maybe you're appointed with Chubb, or maybe your carrier is your niche is really strong with homes valued at a certain amount. Well, don't go and just immediately set up a campaign if your area doesn't have that audience there. If only 1% of the homes in your area have a home that's over $1 million, then it's probably not a good place for you to spend any time or money, and you can quickly find that out using the Audience Insights tool. So as you open it up, you'll have a couple options here: everyone on Facebook, people connected to your page, or a custom audience. We're going to look at everyone on Facebook, but I'll just tell you really quick, if you have a page and you want to know more about the fans that are on your page, you can click here and the Audience Insights will break down the demographics of those who follow your fan page. A custom audience is the ability for us to actually upload a list of people who are on Facebook. Maybe we have emails, maybe we have phone numbers, maybe we have Facebook user IDs, but you can upload these lists into your Audience Insights tool, and it will show you a deep dive into their online habits, their rentals, their homeownership status, their income, their careers, their lifestyle. You can learn so much about your audience, and the more that you learn about them and the more that you can understand them, the better you're going to be at engaging them. So we'll go everyone on Facebook, and let's just use my area here, Dallas, Texas. So I'll select my geography, and let's say I don't really know a whole lot about my customer. So once we create our perfect customer, the next key is to figure out what those life events are, figure out what those shopping triggers are that they have going on. Maybe it's to target them by interest, right? If you're gonna go and partner up with real estate agents as referral partners, the best thing for you to do is go hang out where real estate agents hang out. We're able to figure out where our perfect customers are hanging out. So let's just say we know that they're between 25 and 45. And we know that they're in Dallas. And that's all we know. So what we can do is we can use the audience insights here to learn more about our customers. It'll tell you here that there's 1 million to 1.5 million monthly active users. A monthly active user is somebody who has logged on to Facebook more than once in a given 30-day period. That's an active user. And that's really all that we're concerned with anyway. So one thing that you have to understand too about Facebook is that it is an artificial intelligence machine disguised as this social media platform. That's really all it is. And we've all heard different reports and different stories about how much they know. There's been skepticism as to whether or not they listen in on your phone conversations that you have through their messenger app, and they spy on your videos. But one thing is for certain: they know every post that you make. They know who you engage with. They know where you work. They know what websites that you visit. They know what messages that you send back and forth. They know what comments you make. They know everything about you as a user, and they make that available to people like myself, and hopefully like you in the future as a marketer. They make that information available to us to help us get better results from our marketing. So what we see here is the outline of the demographics between 25 and 45 in Dallas. Lifestyle, this is important. This shows us the types of lifestyles that people between 25 and 45 in Dallas have. And if, let's say, you don't know what a trucking and styling lifestyle is, you just hover over the information button and it will tell you. These households are in their mid to late 30s, live in rural towns. Though on average they earn middle incomes, they rank below average for income when compared to the nation, and have a very low net worth. Okay, career building, made up of young childless singles with a mix of mobile renters and first-time home buyers living in condos and single-family houses. Right, so this stuff is important to us to know, and it shows you here the likelihood that they are in this audience versus the rest of the country. The rest of the country is here in this light blue. Tells us our relationship status and education level. 46% of folks between 25 and 45 in Dallas are married. 33 are single, 17 are in a relationship, 5% is engaged. Now, engage is important because we know that this is a life event, often that causes people to start thinking about or considering insurance. There's a very low percentage of my overall audience, and while I would typically be inclined to run a campaign targeting this life event, this data tells me right away that I probably don't want to spend a whole lot of time with that particular campaign. I might test it out, but I'm not gonna go too heavy with it because there's just not a lot of market share there for me. We can see our educational status. We've got a educational level, fairly educated community here. Job titles. This is important because this is definitely a way in which we can target the right customers. So if we're running a homeowners campaign and we're trying to figure out how to get the right traffic and how to get that ad in front of the right people, we can figure out what types of industries these folks are in, and we can actually set up campaigns that target people in that industry. Right? We've got management, healthcare, business operations. Probably not going to want to run a lot of cleaning and maintenance, right? And you can expand this and it'll show you all the different job titles that they might be in. Tells you what kind of pages they like. So if I want to build an audience on my insurance page, let's say I'm with Allstate and I've got an Allstate business page. We all have a business page. If you don't, you should have one as soon as you get off this. But I can go to these different categories and these different pages and look them up on Facebook, and I can like those pages as well. And I can assume that the people that are engaging with that page are also people that are in my demographic, that are in my perfect customer that I'm looking for. Again, if you want to find people that are in the real estate world, hang out where the people in the real estate world hang out. Same goes online. If I want to find out where the 25 to 45-year-olds are on Facebook, then I can go hang out where these guys are hanging out, and this is where they're hanging out. Activity, this is important too. This tells us how active our demographic is on Facebook and how responsive they are to ads in the first place. So right now it shows that we're pretty active here compared to the rest of the country. The rest of the country averages 10 ads clicked a month on Facebook, and this audience here is clicking on 14. So that means they're responsive to Facebook advertising. That's good for me. If I have a really low number here with my audience, maybe I selected, 55 to 65, and I wanted to run a retiree campaign or something like that. And I see that they've only clicked one ad a month, not a very good probability that they're going to be very responsive here. So again, before you set up a campaign, do some due diligence and find out how responsive they are. Don't market to an audience that's not going to be responsive. If you could think about sending out a mailer to a given zip code, if somebody could tell you before you ran it and said, well, hey, you can run this mailer in this campaign, but only 1 in 1,000 are actually responding to to mailers in this area. Would you still want to do it? Probably not. See, we have that ability here with Facebook to determine up front whether or not it's a place we want to even try. We've got household information, renters versus homeowners. Got a lot of renters. That tells me that I've got a good market here to run some renters campaigns if I want to get some renters insurance going. Right? Here's my income level. So if a lot of people want to use an income targeting filter, an income filter when they're setting up campaigns. I probably don't want to use a filter of 250 or up because there's just not many people there. Now, I might change my audience and that might change, but right now between 25 and 45 in Dallas, I don't want to run a campaign to people making $250,000 or up because it's almost non-existent. Has my market value of houses. Good information if I'm helping real estate agents set up campaigns and I want to be a value add resource to them. Let's not run campaigns to houses over 500,000. Everybody wants to be a luxury listing agent, but we haven't even checked to see if there's a luxury market here. So while we're spending hundreds of dollars a month trying to generate leads in the luxury market, we could have saved ourselves a bunch of time and hassle and money by checking out the audience insights and finding out that the market's almost non-existent. So let's not waste time there. Purchase, we can look at their online purchasing habits. We can look at where they have subscriptions, food products, business purchases, pet products. If they're in the market for a vehicle, what type of vehicle? So if we want to run campaigns to people that are in the market for a vehicle, we can find out what types of vehicles are going to be best suited for our campaigns. Right? So very few people are actually taking the time to understand their customers, and I can't stress how important this is to go through this exercise before you start marketing. You can even check this against your, print campaigns or whatever that you're thinking about doing, or mailers. Again, that's in your audience insights tool back in your ads manager. If you don't have a shortcut to ads manager, it's just facebook.com/ads/manage. And that will get you to your ads manager. From there, you select the tools and you go into your audience insights, and that will break down these demographics. Now, all of these demographics will also be available for our custom list, for our fan pages. If we have a fan page and we want to know about the audience there, these are all of this data is available there as well. So I want to show you guys another cool trick here. So this is one way in which you can figure out how to target your customer. You want to know what your perfect customer is doing. You want to know what they look like. You want to know which areas to avoid. Your audience insights is the key. It holds all of the answers to that. Now, all of us have seen Facebook ads in our newsfeed. And what I want to show you is how you can reverse engineer these Facebook ads and see what your customers are doing or what your competitors are doing and what they're targeting in their ads. Maybe you're struggling with trying to figure out the right traffic and the right places to target and the right traffic to generate, but you see a Liberty Mutual ad, or you see a State Farm ad, or you see a Geico ad in your newsfeed, and you're like, man, I want to know why am I in there? Why is this showing up to me? How did they target me? Because I want to target people like me too. So what you do is you get into your newsfeed here. Bear with me, let this load up for a second. So here we go. We see an ad right here, Office for Business, and we know this is an ad because it says suggested post here. It also says sponsored. Anytime you see sponsored, you know that it's an ad, that somebody's paying for this to be there. So why am I seeing this ad? There's a little arrow here, just to the right, little drop down arrow, and you click it and you can say, why am I seeing this? And what it's going to show you is the targeting measures that this page input in order for it to show up in my newsfeed. So some of the reasons that this ad is being is showing, because they want to reach people between 25 and 65 in the United States, and because we think you may be part of the quote unquote production audience. This is based on what you do on Facebook. So the reason that they consider me as production is not because I like any production, but back to what I talked about earlier, is Facebook knows everything that we do on their site, and 97% of what we do off their site, because of these little things called pixels. Right, so I talk a lot about videos, video marketing. I post a lot of videos. This is an ad of people who want to use, and I also do events. So this ad is for modern workplace webcast, places that you can use to host web events, or that you can use for your production events, office space. That would be pretty accurate because I do host events. In fact, I've got an event coming up December 21st where I've got 15 agents from across the country that are coming to Dallas to train with me. I would need a facility to do that. Facebook is smart enough to know that, hey, this guy would be a good person to put this ad in front of. So you can go through and you can reverse engineer your ads and figure out how your competitors are targeting you. And you can assume that that would be a safe place and a safe way for you to target your ads as well. And I would recommend going through and just screenshot some of these ads that you see in your timeline, because it'll help you become more familiar with how ads are structured, what they, how they look aesthetically, whether they have sign up versus get quote versus learn more versus download. There's all kinds of different variables that go into create an effective ad. And the best thing that you can do is submerge yourself in understanding how marketing works, understanding what companies are doing in order to get their message to the intended audience. So the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, well, second to last thing anyway, is I want to talk to you about your referral partners. Let me turn this off here. All right, so one of the things that we teach at the Agency Alliance is about referral-based business, right? Generating leads are fantastic, but we also want to build a referral-based business. And if you want to see the highest closing rate, you know that referrals are the best way to go. Now, some of you will focus on in-book referrals. We at the Agency Alliance teach how to leverage professionals and other folks in industries whose daily course of business and process through their sales transaction requires their customers to get insurance, or it is strongly recommended, right? So if somebody goes through a divorce, they're going to switch insurance. A divorce attorney would be a good person to send you referrals, right? Real estate agents and loan officers, great people to send you referrals of people who are purchasing house who must get insurance to finish that transaction, right? We know homeowners referrals are great because 1, we got premium. 2, they have good credit because they're buying a home. 3, they have cars because they drive to work so they can buy the home. 4, they have life insurance propensity because they now have a mortgage that they need to protect. They're just great referrals. And when you can close 70 or 80% closing rate on households with 4, 5, 6 items, that's a fantastic way to build your business. In fact, that's the way that I built my business, and it's one of the key areas of focus in our program, is how to target in on these folks and how to bring massive value to their business. One of the ways is to understand how to generate leads and bring them leads, but another way that you can start building these centers of influence is to spy on them. Not to sound creepy, but ultimately that's what you're going to do. You can find out what your referral sources are doing, what they're talking about, and you won't ever miss a beat. You can find out how you can make sure that if you're in a referral relationship, a referral partner relationship, you can hold them accountable because you can see what they're doing and you won't miss out on a referral opportunity. Maybe they talk about they just sold somebody's house and they didn't send you the referral. The only way you would know that is if you saw them post about it, right? So sometimes we can catch them slipping, but we can also use this strategy to help promote them at every opportunity possible. Every time we see our referral partners or somebody that we want to be a referral partner trying to promote their business or trying to accomplish some sort of marketing objective on social media, we can make sure that we are on top of it and never miss a beat. Never miss a birthday, never miss a congratulations, never miss a time to say I'm sorry. It's a way to stay in front of your audience without having to scroll through your friends and find, go through 5,000 people to figure out, try to remember who's a realtor, who's an attorney, who's a CPA, who's a mortgage broker, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to switch gears one more time and show you a quick little Facebook hack that will help you stay on top of your referral sources. All right, so we'll just start all the way from search. So let's just say, all right, so real estate agent, Dallas, Texas. Here we've got a couple people here. Let's go here. And we happen to be friends. But her name says real estate agent. That's pretty easy. But if it didn't, I wouldn't know what Marcy Burns did unless I clicked on Marcy Burns' profile and I went to go look at her job. Now, that can be rather cumbersome to go through all of your friends and try to keep up with everybody that's a real estate agent or everybody that's a loan officer, so on and so forth. So a quick and easy way is I can categorize these people. And so I can say, I want to add her to a list. Friends drop down. I can say get notifications. So I can get a notification up here in my little window every time that she does something. That's one way. If you don't want to get thousands of notifications, another way is to put her into a list. So let's add a list here. I don't have one, so I'll create one for realtors. Now I've added her to my real estate agents list. So as you add people, and you will thank yourself for doing this up front, you add somebody, connect with them on Facebook, and then you go and make sure that you categorize them immediately and put them into a list. Now what I can do is I can set up a custom news feed with just the people in that specific list. So what I'll do is I'll go to my page. I've got a lot of friend requests here. Excuse me here. Bear with me, my connection is obviously not ready for the bandwidth. Love technology. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to my friends on my left side. Click more and it'll open them all up. For the sake of time, I've got one here with insurance agents. And when I click on this, when I click on the category here of folks that I want to see, I've put insurance agents in this list, and obviously I don't have very many. I've got 4 in there. But what will happen is when I click this and it finishes uploading, my news feed here will only be populated with people who are in this list. So if I want to go and add everybody that's an insurance agent, and I want to keep up with what they're doing on Facebook, and I don't want to miss a beat, and I want to try to engage with them at every opportunity and keep my face in front of them, I can go and create my newsfeed. Whoa. Create my newsfeed that eliminates everybody that is not an insurance agent. So now I can see here, these are just the folks that I have in that list. Like I said, I don't have a big list here, but that's one way and a really good way that you can stay on top of what's going on with your referral sources, stay in front of them, and make sure that you're not missing out on any opportunities to help them grow their business, to help them get leads, promote their business, so on and so forth. All right, so I want to recap with you guys here before we log off and share with you one more strategy. We want to understand how to create the perfect customer. We want to stop haphazardly putting ad campaigns together. We want to stop haphazardly putting marketing pieces together without first diving in and taking a step back and objectively looking at our marketing from our customer's perspective. Who is our perfect customer? What is going on in their life? What solution do we have for them? And what action do we want them to take? We have to be able to answer each of these specifically, and I promise you, the more specific that you can be with your campaign, the higher you are going to convert. It's a lot easier for you to find the folks who are needing and wanting insurance with maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people versus a broad stroke of 25 to 45 in Dallas with 1.5 million. If I can say 25 to 45 in Dallas that own a home that makes $75,000 a year, that have kids, that are married, and that are in the market for purchasing a Lexus SUV, that's pretty specific. And that's okay that everybody else doesn't click on that ad, because that's not who I want. I have a whole separate campaign for them. We can create an unlimited number of these campaigns and engage each and every person and approach them with a solution to the problem that they're having right now. That's much easier than trying to find the person that drives a Lexus just by saying 25 to 45 in Dallas, Texas. Obviously, it's easier to market to 10,000 than it is to market to 10 million. So that's first and foremost. The second thing that we want to do is we want to use our audience insights tool to figure out ways in which we can effectively target. Let's not add filters that shouldn't be there, that are ultimately going to cost us more money, or trying to add filters to attract an audience that doesn't exist in our marketplace. Right? So we want to be more effective with our campaigns by educating ourselves about the marketplace and the consumers that are in it. And once we can start doing that, we can then start thinking about how to craft these messages effectively. Then we want to also be able to look at what our competitors are doing, spy on our competitors' ads. What is State Farm doing? What is Allstate doing? What is Farmers Corporate doing? These guys are spending tens of millions of dollars a year on Facebook advertising. Let's look at what they're doing. Let's see how they're able to, what they're using to target me, and we can start to mirror those campaigns. Let's see what the aesthetics of these different ads look like. How are they set up? Are they clicked to website? Are they lead gen objective? Are they video objective? What is the objective here that they're using? And then we can mirror that. We don't have to recreate the wheel, guys. People are being effective in generating leads all day, every day on Facebook. So let's stop trying to figure it out on our own and start using some proven methods and start educating ourselves on the proper way to execute an advertising funnel. Then we also want to work on building our referral sources. We've got some tools and strategies that we shared with you on how to build up your COIs, how to search for them, and then how to categorize them so that you can manage all of your friends. That's a great thing about social media, is we now have the unique ability to manage dozens and dozens of relationships that we once could not. And the way that we do that is by using the tools that are available to us. We don't have to go through and try to shift through 5,000 friends. Now we can build a list of people and categorize them: family, customers, referral partners, real estate agents, loan officers, what have you, right? So these are some of the strategies that we teach in our mastermind at agencyalliancemastermind.com. I would encourage you guys to visit that. And listen, for the month of November here, we've got a few days left here of the month, and we've got 3 spots left in our December program. January is almost sold out. I think we're down to 2 spots left in January. This is a very, very busy time for us because everybody is gearing up to start their 2016 marketing. Some folks want to get started now, and that way by the time January 1 hits, we've already got leads going. And some want to start off fresh because they've already blown their budget, whatever the case may be. Wherever you're at, I want to assure you that social media has got to be part of your plan. It's not going away. You know, our clients are seeing 50, 60, sometimes even 150 leads a week, exclusive leads, by using and understanding these strategies that we teach. Now, obviously, I didn't have time to go into everything that we teach, and one of the key factors to being successful is understanding how to write effective ad copy. You can have 1 million visitors a month to your website, but if you cannot write copy that engages and converts that traffic into leads, then it's all for naught. And a lot of you have packages with your companies that charge you $400 a month or whatever to run ads on the right side toolbar. I promise you, you won't get any leads from that. And if you do, they're going to be terrible. You have to understand this formula. It's a proven formula. It works in every single market, big, small, rural, urban, it doesn't matter. 100% success with these proven formulas, and I promise you that this has got to be part of your strategy if you want to really see a big difference in your lead flow. The #1 reason folks are coming to our program is because they don't have sufficient lead flow, #1, and #2, if they do have lead flow, it's not the right lead flow. Underwriting has tightened their noose, rates have gone up. Some of you guys have completely lost products altogether that you once were able to write, policies that you once were able to write, and it's never been more critical than right now to generate the perfect customer, to generate leads that will convert. We're able to show you how to generate exclusive leads, #1, that range between $1.50 and $3 a lead when you're using these strategies. So you're getting exclusive leads at a fraction of the price that you would get from a traditional internet lead, and you've got folks that are value-based consumers, not price-driven customers. So you got people who aren't shopping. I don't know of a better situation than that you could ask for as an insurance agent to have an exclusive lead for pennies on the dollars that convert between 25 and 35% that aren't shoppers. That's what we're looking for. That's why we're in this business. So there's no reason for you to go out and be wasting money on internet leads any longer. There's no reason for you to be wasting money buying lists and hiring people at 10, 12 bucks an hour to dial these lists up. Because you know yourself, you wouldn't respond to that ad. You wouldn't respond to that cold call. So I want to invite you to click on the link and let's have a conversation. We've got some ridiculous specials right now for these last couple spots for December. I promise you that we won't miss you on price. If we got to work on financing, I will help you out with that. Listen, if we talked before, we need to talk again. because there is so much that we haven't even discussed here that has changed. I've had to revamp this program 3 different times in the last 60 days because of the different changes and rollouts that are available. And if you don't have money and money is an issue, we've got a market domination program that's only $79 a month right now through the month of November, no contracts, and you can learn some of these strategies with us and have a coach to work with you side by side throughout the course of your marketing campaigns. We'll work with you on social media, everything from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, and we work on it in the market domination program. But I really want to invite you to have a conversation with me and figure out at what point we can fit into your overall marketing strategy before you waste any more money this year or for 2016. You got to see what we're doing here, and we've got dozens of success stories. We've got hundreds of testimonials for you, and I would really love to be part of your success in 2016. Hey, listen, I appreciate your time here today, and when this webcast is over, I hope to talk with you soon. And I will also send you an email with an invite to our private Facebook group. We've got over 800 agents in that group. If you just send me an email at Sean@sellingwithsean.com, I will send you an invite to that group. And one last thing I've got to give away for you. The Insurance Guide to Social Media is one of my #1 selling programs. There's 7 different webinars and trainings in there. It's $19.99, but I'm going to give it to the first 20 people free. Give you free access, lifetime access to that program to the first 20 people that log on to my Facebook at facebook.com/sellingwithsean. It's SEAN, Selling with Sean. And you give me a takeaway that you got from this webinar, and I will, and then drop me a message with your email, and I will get you access before Monday. I'll give you access before Monday, the first 20 people that that give me a takeaway on my Facebook page. It's at facebook.com/sellingwithsean. Hey, listen, guys, I really appreciate you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.